Hello there. It's the stuff that Liz Truss didn't mention in her Prime Ministerial maiden speech outside Number 10 yesterday that concerns me. Now, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and then like and comment below. And why not buy a mug with my mug on it? So Liz Truss has three immediate priorities. Firstly, to get Britain working and building again in order to grow the economy and turn the UK into an aspiration nation. Secondly, she will be dealing hands-on with the energy crisis with a plan this week to deal with those pesky rising energy bills. And thirdly, to put the NHS on a firm footing and make sure patients can see their doctors. We need to build roads, homes and broadband faster, she said. But no mention of our relationship with the European Union. Nothing about our porous border situation. No acknowledgement that our food security is woefully lacking. And no comment on our increased need for defence. Now, I very much doubt she wrote this speech in isolation. I would expect that she sought a lot of advice on what to say and what not to say, so as to put forward a positive prospect for the country, together with a few references that hint at the need for blood, sweat and tears going forwards. And another big consideration would have been our special relationship with the US and our friends and partners in the EU. She was probably warned not to upset Washington or Brussels by mentioning Brexit and the Northern Ireland Protocol quite yet. Or maybe she was told not to reference it because she intends to go soft on Brexit. Who knows? And the same sorts of considerations would come into play where immigration is concerned. But as there is a high level of employment in the UK already, who exactly is going to be wielding all those picks and shovels she talks about? And if the UK population is allowed to continue to grow at its current rate, then whatever we do build will never, ever be enough. And to build at the level she seems to indicate will take a lot of things like concrete, tarmac, steel, timber, bricks, copper and aluminium, all of which takes a lot of energy. So securing our future energy supplies won't be sufficient. We need lots more energy and lots more energy very fast. Especially if, as we're led to believe, everyone will be able to have an electric car in the future. And sorry, Greenies, that's all going to take fossil fuels right now. Further, to make all this viable for business, that energy, from electricity to gas to diesel, will have to be cheap. And in the situation we find ourselves in, that will require a massive increase in the national debt while increasing inflationary pressures. Or we can whack a big windfall tax on the corporates and tax the wealthy until the pips squeak, and then wonder why those companies won't invest in all those growth projects we need, and why anyone with any money left have all suddenly hunkered down in survival mode for this winter and the next. In truth, something big does need to be done to stimulate growth, but also keep that growth well ahead of the inflation curve. A big ask. Especially when this will require the UK to shake off one of its biggest problems, stagnant productivity. We cannot do what Truss wants, which is to work our way out of this mess, unless we're all more productive than we have been. And that means working harder, or working longer, or working smarter, or a combination of the three. And that means changing how we do things, and the unions will not take kindly to that unless they can take the businesses to the cleaners. This is definitely a case of, I wouldn't have started from here. But be in no doubt, the UK, and therefore each of us, is hanging on the edge of the abyss by our fingernails right now. And the question is whether a crash is inevitable right now, Or can we really work hard enough to pull ourselves away from the brink? Or will that just delay things and kick the crash can down the road a few months and make the inevitable far worse? And we all know from having it stuffed down our throats for the last few years that there are very, very powerful players out there who are desperate for that crash to occur to provide the trigger for the Great Reset and then the Build Back Better phase for humanity, where the world gets built back better for the very few. And a crash like that will be ugly for the rest of us. Anyway, let's see what Keir Starmer makes of Truss during her first PMQs at midday today.